Don't tell me I missed the Braves trade deadline. You've got to be kidding me. Did I miss that, Barry, or is it still going on today? Because if I did, I want to apologize right here off the bat.
It's done. It's over. Go home. What are you still doing here? Yeah.
How did I miss that?
First of all, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. On a day which we had circled in light pencil as kind of the start of things in college football, that's where John goes. Hey, the trade deadline ended.
I didn't even know it started. What do you mean ended?
So if you didn't know about it, normally the Longshore line of thinking is nobody knew about it.
Yeah,
and
it
if
can't be
anybody
that big of
did
a
know
deal.
about it, there's no reason why they should have, because I didn't care. Yep.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've
will-
led the program with something that John famously doesn't give two toots about. So here we go. We're on the way on the roller coaster.
Well, I am curious, based on Bill from Baltimore's River Region Straw chat entry this morning,
Yes.
did something big happen? I mean, are the Braves back in World Series contention? Is there new hope, excitement? Is the buzz back? Not sure
You
if
have
it
no
was.
idea. John doesn't
I'm
care about
asking.
it, even if it was. I'm gonna sit here and prop up this topic for John. I don't know anything about this. Barry, do you know anything about this? What's going on with this? Is there something big going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. You know, this is.
I do have a couple of questions, though.
Yeah,
but I could have
questions,
started
what are
out
they?
with, hey, a lot of runs scored in that Dodger Cub game last night. More on that later. Is it always the first Monday in August?
Yes.
Okay. There you
Yes.
have it.
Yes.
Okay. First Monday in August is the
Yeah.
trade deadline.
And there was some stuff, some things. Probably the biggest one, Tarek Skubal goes to the Dodgers. I say probably, that's definitely the one.
Okay. All
Red
right.
Sox acquire catcher Adley Rutschman, played
All
at
right.
Oregon State. He came from the Orioles. The Cubs acquired Clay Holmes out of Slocum, Alabama, a former Slocum Red Top from down here in the Wiregrass.
Yeah.
They got him from the Mets and all that. Braves, not much.
Ooh.
Couple of guys, a couple of things here and there. Some, what would you call them, John from Wetumpka? Role players?
Role, yes.
So, yeah,
Yes. Plug and
nothing
play.
super huge. So,
I don't get the. Did the
it-
Kansas City Royals do anything, or is it just teams that are in contention that get involved in the trade deadline?
oh, there are teams that get involved in the trade deadline who aren't in contention, like the New York Mets. I think they traded away 8 players.
Yeah.
They're building for the future.
Getting rid of
me.
dead weight, huh?
Yeah. So there's so you have to have somebody trade in order for people to make the trades on the other side. All right, here we go. Outfielder Lane Thomas, starting pitcher Bailey Falter are now Atlanta Braves from Kansas City.
I hope he doesn't falter.
They that's not a great name for a pitcher. The Los Angeles Angels, they trade Brent Suter to the Braves.
Is he
Tyler
related to
Mahle,
Bruce Sutter, former major league player?
no, there's one less T.
Yeah.
Tyler Uberstein from the Red Sox. They traded him. They traded for him straight up for outfielder Eli White, who I like,
Is he German?
and catcher
Uberstein.
Joey Bart from the
Joey
Chicago White Sox. Joey Bart, who one time Captain Over once asked if he liked gladiators. There's another reference for you there, Jay. That's
Something
it.
about
It's
a Turkish
C.
prison, maybe, or something.
Yeah, it's a C. It may be a C plus
Yeah.
for the Braves, but I mean, they're already leading the division comfortably. Well, they didn't need anybody.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, just
They'll
to flesh out the roster, get
Yeah.
a couple of guys who can, eat up some innings or a pinch hitter or a defensive replacement there. That's all that there is. Now,
I'm not crying for these guys because they're making a lot of money to play a sport. But, you get traded, you're going, wow, man, I guess I got to go home and pack. I mean, so you got to get all your stuff together.
The wife, maybe a child or two.
I mean, you're living in an apartment the rest of the season. I mean, if you get traded, are you going to be with this team the next year? Or is it just, are you just kind of, a guy to fill a gap till the season's over? I mean,
well, it depends on your contract.
Yeah.
Who
was that pitcher that, well, he was in the All-Star game. He had every logo of every team he ever played for. I mean, that guy had to, man, you're talking about moving. Ugh.
Gosh, I can think of a lot of them out there. Burt Blyleven. There's been a bunch who have played in a bunch of places. Former Auburn pitcher, number 1 draft pick, Casey Mize gets traded from the Tigers to the Padres. Heck, Clay Holmes, the pitcher that the Mets traded, he's from Slocum. He actually committed to Auburn, signed with Auburn, but then didn't go because he got drafted in the 9th round and went ahead and went. So there's a couple of Auburn references there. So there's baseball. And admittedly, the hook for you guys on baseball is that John doesn't know and John doesn't care. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
So there we go. Bill from Baltimore, if you hadn't brought that up earlier today on the River Region Straw chat line, I probably would not have even brought it up today. But that's what I love about our viewers and listeners is they throw out ideas and topics. They go, let's go with that and see what happens.
Yeah. Much less lead the entire program off with that. Hey, the trade deadline passed. Wow. Did anybody do anything? That's akin to John being on some podcast up in the Northeast where it's hey, guys, college football. Anybody doing anything?
Yeah.
What's going on? Have they started yet? Yeah, it's the same
I'm not
kind
sure they
of a
would.
thing.
Jeff, you're right. That was Gaylord Perry. You're right. That's the player I was thinking of.
There's a bunch of them. Burt Blyleven, Gaylord Perry, but there's a bunch.
Gaylord Perry sweat a lot. I just remember him always wiping his,
That's because he threw a spitball, John.
Oh, okay.
That's because he threw an illegal pitch. He had the Emery ball. He had the Vaseline ball. He had the KY jelly ball.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's where he would hide stuff. He'd have like cough lozenges or what they call slippery elm lozenges in his mouth that make you have salivate a lot. And he'd, get a little spit on there. And after a little while, when everybody was really watching out for him, he would do that stuff all the time beforehand to kind of distract them. Is he about to load up with another spitball? Is that Vaseline? Well, where's that? And they'd call time and they'd go check him and he wouldn't have anything and he'd laugh. And
who was the guy that had the nail file in his back pocket?
That was Joe Niekro.
Oh, yeah.
That was Joe Niekro when he played for the Astros. And the great thing about him is that they busted him big time. They come out there, they're looking at his glove and everything. They want to, they reach behind and are checking his pocket. And that Emery board comes flipping out of there right in the middle, and the umpire's looking down at it, and Joe Niekro's looking down at it. I don't think he said anything. He just turned and he walked off the mound.
He should have just gone like that, looked at his fingernails and said, I like to have nice fingernails. You got to come.
Oh, yeah, they buy that. Sure.
Yeah, why not? You got to at least try.
So what's wrong with being well groomed? You can't throw me out of the game.
I'm a big proponent of that. Certainly.
Also, I want to get to this because this might be a big thing. College football. Today is report day, so to speak.
Yeah, it is.
The funny thing is I know Troy is reporting. They're here today. They're here anyway, but today is the day when they take their official weight and, all that kind of stuff. And you have your team meetings, whatever. Same thing with Auburn. Both Auburn and Troy report today. First practice is tomorrow in the morning for both of them to beat the Heat. Can't find much about Alabama. If you look at the Alabama official website at rolltide.com, this is what they're putting out. Yesterday, they had a story Ryan Coleman Williams selected to the Maxwell Award preseason watch list, which means a big bunch of nothing. A week and a half ago, the preseason All-SEC. A month ago, football single game tickets on sale July 7th. They have put out 4 stories in a month in football. What are they doing over there? I mean, are they full-time wage or something? They got 4 football stories out on the official website in 32 days. Come on, guys.
Well, I got an email yesterday. Tide Talk tickets on sale, $85 a pop. Bryant Conference Center, 4 Saturdays during the week from 11:30 to 1:30.
Oh, this is the old nooner with Nick.
Yeah, but I think these are actual, the Friday before home games, $85. Tickets on sale now.
What? You get the board out there?
Support starts here. Oh, wait a minute. That's for the young one. That's for the ones that are actually going to school, not athletics. So that's a different email. I want to say I saw something where they started on
since you
Sunday.
Bring that up, let me get this thing going. Do you have any kids at Alabama this fall?
Me?
Yeah. Any of the people in your household? I mean, are they done? I know daughter's gone through and everything. I mean, are there?
I don't want to. I'm not looking for sympathy of any sort, but I would certainly appreciate maybe a pat on the back. Attaboy. Barry, I will actually have not 1, not 2, but 3 enrolled at the University of Alabama as students there this fall. 3, I count it. How about that?
What if one of them said, Dad, I really want to go to Auburn?
You getting a scholarship?
What if, how about the Huntington Hawks? Something like that.
If that's what they wanted to do, I'm certainly not going to stop them.
But they all want to go to
Alabama. Went to Auburn. I've got a lot of good Auburn friends. A lot of my children's friends going to Auburn too.
Why the heck are they sending you an email asking you for support? I mean, what do you want? I got 3 of mine we're getting.
No kidding. I'm the one that needs the support.
That's exactly right. How about you guys contributing to me?
So, I'll have a junior and 2 freshmen there this fall.
Again, I don't know when Alabama starts. They
start on the move-in day is a week from Friday, the 14th. Ooh. So as soon as we wrap up at where will we be on the 14th? Stivers Ford, Montgomery. Then I will be heading up 82. Well, they'll already be up there.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of oversee it. Now, put that over there. Now, that'll look better over there. Yeah, move that there. Yeah.
And bring me another cold one.
Yeah, exactly. So the move-in day is the 14th. I think school starts on the 20th, I believe.
Alabama's like a week after Troy. Troy starts on the
move-in
day's already been at Troy.
One of my boys told me that Auburn's moving in today. There's some Yeah.
Well, move-in day for Auburn and move-in day is this week, Friday and Monday, because there's students all over the place here at Troy and in Auburn. Alabama's a week later. I guarantee you they don't start fall practice a week later. I wonder when that. I just can't find out. I've been looking.
Yeah. So I appreciate all the sympathy on the River Region Straw chat line. Thank you. I see you working. Yeah. Just
my mom and dad have 4 kids. And my sister Melanie and I are the only ones who went to college at the same time. Mm-hmm. So we did space it out a little bit, but
well, I'll just say this for anyone out there listening or watching and viewing, you got to plan ahead. Like the day they were born.
Yeah.
So
like the moment she tells you, honey, sit down, I've got some news. Then the next day head to the financial advisor.
Yeah, you got to plan ahead. And I will say this, they are gifted academically. I will say that, which helps.
Yes, it does.
I'll say that.
Which John's mother and father used to tell him, and he's like, yeah. Academic scholarship would certainly help.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
But some will be spending a lot of time in T-Town over the next.
I mean, the only thing you're going to be spending
4
in
years.
T-Town.
I feel like I've been in Tuscaloosa. I mean, I went when I was 19. I'm 62. I feel like I've spent a lot of time up there in that time period, and
you got a lot more
time
coming.
to go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Man.
So we'll do that. They're getting ready to do all that. So we're out of high school though, Barry. We've gotten through high school and we've gotten through all of that, and now we're taking the next step, the next journey to higher education. So
how is Montgomery Academy going to make it financially? Yeah. Good.
Well, I feel like I'm making money now.
Yeah. Woo. But again, it is that time. Schools are actually welcoming in football student athletes officially. Practices are starting.
Yeah.
Again, for Auburn and for Troy, it's tomorrow. And you're already seeing stuff on the podcasts and stuff. Auburn fall camp preview, what the Tigers are going to look like this fall, refreshing the depth chart, keys for Auburn football in preseason practice, It's getting there, John.
It's getting there, and it's not there again. Preseason practice, folks. We're starting something here. We don't want to hear what people call fall practice. We're not even close to fall, people. Not even close.
No.
So it's not fall camp. Not even close. It's just summer camp is what it is. You're just not going canoeing. You're not making arts and crafts.
There's no watermelon eating contest
This is pre-season camp. And we'll talk a little bit about it with Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com at the bottom of this hour. At the top of hour number 2, Travis Ryer on YouTube, talking Tide. We'll talk with those two gentlemen here today on the program as well. A lot of conversation that we're going to have with you as well. So, hey, stick around and keep those chats coming on our River Region Straw chat line. You can email us Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you.
We're underway. It is the If Pigs Had Wings episode of Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Don't you stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River Region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 19 minutes past the hour here on this Tuesday. Glad that you are with us here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. Tell all your friends and associates and church members, whomever you hang around with, to check us out as well. Just type in Longshore and McKnight in the search bar, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, Yellowhammer News, and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out on their website as well. We really appreciate it, and certainly see the numbers growing on all those platforms. We could not do it without you.
Now, this is the time when those of you who are not fully invested in football, who just look at it and says, oh, we got beat by how many? Fire the coach. Oh, we came back against Oklahoma? All right, we're okay. You know, the topsy-turvy fans out there who just check in every once in a while, look at the final score. Me watch the East Carolina game, or who's coming in, Southern Miss? I ain't watching that. Mm-mm. Just call me in late September. These are the times when you take your first look at the rosters. You got to start familiarizing yourself with some names out there so you sound like you at least pay attention these days along the water cooler. For Auburn, projected starters include names like Derek Plaz, Ty Buster.
Yep.
Cody Sigler, who I saw play at Arkansas State's a good player, but they're saying he's going to be a starter at defensive tackle at Auburn. I am a bit surprised.
Me too.
Jared Smith, Andre Jordan Jr. You're going to be looking at these guys and saying, I've never heard of you before in my life. Live it, learn it, know it. At Alabama, you're going to be looking. You're going to be sitting there in the stands. You're going to be asking that guy that you just met, big fat guy sitting in the seat next to you, is going to be there all season long. Wait a minute. Our starting center is from Cal Poly?
Yeah.
What in the heck is Cal Poly?
That's Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, I believe.
That's what it is. Yeah. Cal, how the heck are we getting guys from Cal Poly that immediately race up to the top of our depth chart?
Yeah, kind of makes you wonder.
Delgatti, what kind of a name is that? You're going to have to start learning some of these names that you hadn't been paying attention to, other than Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, and Ryan Coleman.
You know, whoever, just get ready for this. I'm making a prediction. Those guys that are walking around before the game as you've parked and you're kind of heading to the stadium, get your program here. Ain't $5 anymore, because they know you got to have them. You got to get a program to figure out who the players are. So $20, get ready. $20 for a program that basically is 90% advertisement.
Buy one at the East Carolina game and just keep bringing it with you.
Yeah.
Because the ads don't ever change. You may get a student, a graduate assistant or something, write an article on the road to redemption for the starting left defensive end.
Yeah.
And you'll get a full schedule of what's happening this week with volleyball and women's soccer and track and field.
Yeah.
Those are the only things that change in a program from week to week.
If you
need it just to get the roster and just to get the depth chart, just buy one at the beginning of the year.
And then laminate it and bring it back to the game.
That's right.
The program people probably wouldn't want me saying that, but why not? That would be a smart move to do that. I miss the old ticket stubs, Barry, because in the back of them, it usually had something like, take this stub and get 4 free crystals, or, go to Wendy's and get a Frosty or whatever. I miss those days. I used to even have them in the programs. It'd be like some little coupon you could take to some place to get you something for free. And whatever happened to those days? Miss that.
You don't see that.
No.
Hardly anymore. But, I was talking with somebody over the weekend, and he's not even thinking about the roster. He doesn't like it anymore that the roster changes. I know at Troy, who had a good year last year, played for the conference championship, played in a bowl game, and the culture's terrific at Troy. It's as good as it's ever been. Everybody's happy. but still they got 51 new players this year. Bert or Johnny Musso or something. They come running out of there in those crimson jerseys or whatever. People ain't going to care. That's the Crimson Tide. That's who we got. And by gosh, DeBoer better not lose to Georgia October the 10th. Otherwise, you're going to call for him to get fired. I don't care who the players are.
Yeah.
College football is always going to be the same to me. Once you get it going, once you see those guys in your uniforms representing your school, even if he's only planning on being there 1 year, those are your guys. All I'm saying is that now is the time where you better start memorizing some of those names. So when your wife sitting next to you says, who is he? Who is number 33? You can say, he's such and such and so and so. Now's the time. Now's the time. Players are reporting. Preseason camp's getting started, and I'm telling you, I'm here for it. Troy starts tomorrow morning. First thing I do after tomorrow's show, headed to campus, going to the practice facility, watching practice. Won't know anything, won't learn anything. But by gosh, it's practice, and I'm ready to go.
Well, yeah, they're hitting the preseason camps are here. I kind of got my fill of practice when I was watching Auburn practice many years ago, and Tuberville was the coach. And I mean, it was okay. Seeing the late great Philip Marshall on the exercise bike, and some player being instructed to run down to the end of the field and get a leaf off the tree and bring it back to one of the coaches.
These are over at the intramural fields where they actually have two fields, one beside each other lengthwise.
Yeah.
He was told to go to the end of the other field. Curtis Lee. If you never heard of him, there's a reason why, but he did that.
For a guy that didn't like to participate in practice, I certainly didn't like watching it either.
No.
So that was never my thing, but you're going to hear a lot. I wonder, will the availability we'll ask Brian this when he joins us here momentarily, about being able to view and watch and, get a look. I know a lot of people that cover these programs don't like the fact that back in the day, we could sit there and watch practice. Hey, even a guy like me could go to practice.
Stay as long as you wanted.
Stay as long as I wanted to. Yeah.
I'm looking back here.
I remember that day there were guys like in pickup trucks, and they backed their pickup trucks by the practice facility and sit in the back of it and watch practice.
Drink beer, watch practice, and by watching practice, I remember that one time John and I were out there, the intramural fields. You're looking over to the far side, and those guys were there. They had a case of beer, and they were backed up to it. They had the fold-in chairs, and they're out there. And you had players over on the far side doing the calisthenics, doing the up-downs, and all that kind of stuff. Up-downs.
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes. Those guys could not have been happier. They're like, man, this is great. I'm thinking, what are you doing? There's a book. I was looking for a book on my shelf.
Yeah.
It's by Joe Buck. It's kind of a autobiography from Joe Buck. It's got a bad word in it. It's called Lucky B Word.
Uh-huh.
And I'm reading that book. It's a really good book. You ought to get it. It's and he was talking about, NFL prep, for his job, doing NFL football. And he said Aikman, loves it. Aikman would get out there and he'd talk to the coaches. He said, I'd talk to the coaches too. He'd talk to the coaches and he'd talk to some of the players and he'd watch practice and, hey, why did that guy win that route against that kind of coverage and everything? Joe Buck says, I got to tell you, I hate it. He says, I hate going to practice. He said, I know I do the games and everything and I prepare and all that, but I never seem to get anything out of practice. And I'm thinking, thank you. Thank you, because all of these years I've been sitting there thinking, man, I'm watching practice. I mean, I've watched practice under Larry Blakeney. I've watched practices under Pat Dye, Tommy Tuberville, all the guys here, John Sumrall, Chip Lindsey, Neil Brown, and everything. And I'm thinking, I don't really know anything that can help me in my broadcast. I know if so-and-so has got a cast on or has got his splint on his pinky finger or something like that. But it made me feel good to think there are other people out there who look out there and say, hey, watch that left tackle as he dips his inside foot against this particular rush. Let me watch out for that on the broadcast. That made me feel better, John, because you and I have been there watching practice. And when I say John's watching practice, John's there. He's not looking over there saying, all right, watch this 3 technique. Watch his first step. It's always towards the A gap or whatever. He ain't doing that.
No.
And I'm thinking, hey, if I'm doing the ball game, I need to know what they're doing. And I think,
I never
could get it. I never could figure that out.
Maybe I should be broader in my viewing of football, but I guess I'm probably like the majority of other people. I'm just watching the ball. Where's the ball? I'm not looking at what the left tackle is doing. Now, I know everybody that's grew up playing on the line of scrimmage is going, how dare you not pay attention to us? I don't. You're boring. Unless you get whipped, which I saw a lot of that coming out of Tuscaloosa last fall. So I had to look at the offensive line. That's really the only time I noticed it. Man, that guy just got his ass whipped. Did you see that? That guy is so slow, he cannot block anybody. So that's what I can find out. Maybe swim moves, A gap, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm lost. You're boring.
Maybe when we come back, when Brian Matthews joins us, and again, practice at Auburn, they report today, practice starts tomorrow. It's really nothing in the first couple of days anyway. Maybe Brian can come on and say, watch, this guy is really good with his offhand trying to shuck the blocker. Watch him, how heavy his hands are and how he gets leverage on that right guard and everything. Maybe he'll do that. I never could get a whole lot out of that. We'll check with Brian in just a moment. AuburnSports.com. He's next on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a 4th location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. Okay, about 25 minutes to the top of the hour on this Tuesday. So glad you're with us. Daniel, I see you working on the River Region Straw chat line as well. Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah, he says, except for Auburn chop blocks. Auburn, John always recognizes those.
I can recognize those. All right, our man Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com, joining us. He does each and every Tuesday. Brian, hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping on today.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about that practice.
Yeah. The report day is today. We were asking somebody the other day, if you had somebody just drop in on Earth from another planet, and you had to explain the difference to them of report day and the day before or the day before that, I don't know that I could do it to where they could understand it, Brian. You?
It doesn't exist anymore. They reported back in January, most of these players, other than like 5 or 6. So that they've been a part of this. It goes back in the day, so to speak, when players didn't necessarily stay all summer long. So they came back at the day before, a couple of days before camp got underway and got measured and got their physicals and did all that stuff. But that's not needed anymore necessarily.
Yeah, heck, I guess they're getting weighed and measured and all that throughout the year. They don't
Yep.
need a special day for it. And as you said that, I do. Kids went home and worked in the summer. They weren't even on campus all 12 months out of the year. I know younger viewers and listeners, what? You got to be kidding me. But no, they'd go home and wash cars or whatever.
I did other things during the summer at that age, but we won't.
Yeah,
probably won't
No,
get into that.
that's another podcast,
Yeah.
Brian. We're going to have to sit down and do one.
That's the nighttime version of the podcast.
And really, the first few days of practice, that isn't, you can't, I guess, deduce a whole lot of information from that in shorts and shells either. So
Not necessarily. When I go to practice, I do the look test thing, right? I just see like, oh man, that guy's put on some weight. He looks good.
Yeah.
Basic stuff like that, especially early on. Even out in shorts and just shirts, you can watch the receivers and DBs work, and get a feel for those guys some. But I'm pretty much with John and you guys about practice. I just go out there to get some good clips for video and see who's running first team, second team, that kind of stuff, and get out of there as soon as it's over. Because I can go back to the days when the whole practice was open and 95-degree heat on the drill or on the practice fields, and that was not a lot of fun. Looking back,
you mentioned shorts and shells, and most players would like that because obviously it's, I guess, cooler, a little more comfortable. I didn't like it a bit because back when I played, Brian, the shotgun was not a thing. Everybody was under center when I played back in the early 80s. So that meant you had to take a snap from your center who had on shorts. And that just wasn't a good thing back in my day. I just never was comfortable, taking that snap. That was kind of tough.
Yeah.
I said, let's get into full pads for we're really taking a snap. But coach didn't see it my way.
And make that center put in the extra padding there so you can put your hands down in there, right?
Yeah.
Now, other than what caught my eye first time I went to the website this morning, auburnsports.com, besides a special deal where you can pay $1 for the first 5 days and get 50% off the first year, which jumped out at me. It also jumped out at me on your Monday column when you said in Monday Musings, Auburn must become physically and mentally tougher.
Yeah, I mean, when you go 1-9 and 7 one-score games over 2 years, that tells you a little bit about the mental and physical toughness of that team and how they played in the fourth quarter. And we saw them play the actual games, and we saw what Auburn did in the fourth quarter. It was a lot of bad stuff, right? A lot of just crazy things, whether it's the offense turning the ball over or the defense, getting run over or pushed around the fourth quarter. It just happened too often, and that's got to change. And I do think that Alex Golsh is that type of coach, right? I think he recognizes that. That's the type of program he runs, but I also don't think that's a quick fix. I think that's a culture thing, and we'll see how long it takes Auburn to get there.
Brian, I also think the coaching staff needed to get mentally tougher. I think there were some mistakes made by previous coaching staffs that cost Auburn games. And I'm sure Alex Golsh is aware of that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you put your quarterback out there in spring and tell the defensive coordinator, take it easy on him so he can build up his confidence, that's a pretty big red flag, one that I didn't recognize quite as well as I should have. But, in hindsight, it was a really big red flag. And, that's an issue right away. And, Alex Golsh did the opposite. He told DJ to get after his quarterbacks and his offense in the spring. I think that's a completely opposite mentality, and I think that's what Auburn needed.
Well, to extend that point, you can have the spread offense, and you can play to space and all that, but in order to build physical toughness, in order to build mental toughness, Brian, you have got to hit and have lots of contact in practice. And I hate to say it because I haven't, seen a practice, but from what I've heard, there wasn't enough contact. I mean, you can't get away from it. You have got to be physical in practice. You've got to build that there, right?
And I would say that's changed a lot over my 25 plus years, right? About the way teams practice,
Coach Scott, goodness.
They would line up and try to kill each other back in the day, every single practice, it seemed like. And they're a little bit more careful. They practice more like the NFL does now. But there's still opportunities to put more physical drills and 11-on-11 situations into practice. So, I don't know exactly how this group is going to compare to the other group, because normally our practice viewings early on in the practice where they're doing stretching, they're doing some individual stuff, position stuff. So I don't know exactly how much viewing time we're going to get.
Right.
We do get to see the first three of the first four practices, I think, or the first three viewing period, but I don't know how long those are going to stretch out.
Brian, it's interesting that preseason camp is different. Practices are different. They're not as physical. But to me, the game's better. I mean, I look back at some of not to say that, the Pat Dye era, the Coach Bryant, but it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It was so dependent on the running game.
Right.
You pitched it to your best player, whether it was Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson or whomever it might have been. And I look back at some of those games compared to games today, and I go, man, those were boring. I mean, those they did the same thing over and over again. And I guess maybe these guys, it's a 12-month out of the year sport. As we talked about coming on the air, these guys went home for the summer, did other things. So when they got back, these coaches probably felt like we got to whip these guys into shape. They get to preseason camp in shape. Maybe they feel like they don't have to be as physical as they used to be.
That's right. I mean, a lot of times those first couple of weeks of camp back, in the 80s and 90s, we're just about getting back into shape and football shape. And they'll show up tomorrow on the practice fields ready to go as far as that goes. But they will be physical. They will tackle at times. And usually fall camp is sort of really shifty. And he's one of those backs that I think Alex is going to like a lot. Alex Golich is going to like a lot just because he's a guy that has that knack for getting the yards after contact and, turning maybe a 3-yard run into a 5-yard run. And that can be really important when you're an offense that wants to emphasize the running game, wants to emphasize power and sort of sucking a defense in or wearing them down and then going over the top and beating them like that. I don't that's simplifying it a lot, but you know what I'm saying. I think a back like Omar is going to be really important. So I'd expect him to have a pretty big role in this team.
Auburn's first game is a month from now. What are you wanting to see in preseason camp from a position group? Which one needs to improve the most before they tee it up against Baylor?
Well, they have 5 new starters on that offensive line. Only 3 players returning, 14 newcomers. That's the area that's got to come together. That really is the area that's been the weakest link of most of these Auburn teams over the past 5 years of losing records. The quarterbacks had their issues, of course, but that offensive line has been consistently below average to poor in the SEC when you rank them among the top units. So that's got to come together. You feel like you got a few guys like Cole Best. We'll see what Stanton Ramel can do coming back from his injury at left tackle. If that doesn't work out, then you got some scrambling to do to figure things out. So Joe Simmons will be a starter either at left or right tackle, most likely. Derek Plaz, the Miami transfer, is probably going to start at guard, but you still got some position to figure out there and figure out your depth too. That's going to be big. And then on the other side of the ball, say cornerback, lost 2 starters to transfers. One went to Ole Miss, the other went, I can't remember exactly, but that's an area where they've got a bunch of guys, a bunch of new guys, and there's going to be a lot of competition for the starting spots and for the number 2s and number 3s, those rotational players too. So that's one I'll be watching closely.
All right, we were as a broadcaster, whatever, I was hopefully simplified in how I use my spotting charts with, all right, you got 5 years to play 5, that's it. I was always a 7th-year senior or all that kind of stuff. So NCAA, finally, it seems like, I'd got that figured out, but now some judge in Colorado says, no, see, if you were in high school in 2022, you can have another year, but it's only if you play for your current team. We were so close, Brian, so close to doing something right in all of that. What's the rationalization there?
Well, I just think the NCAA should have just, let those guys have that 5th year instead of going through this whole process where they knew they're going to get sued. They got sued. They lost again and again and again. So,
Right.
we'll see if the order holds up for, everybody in the 2022 class to have that extra year or not. I think it probably will. It seems like the NCAA is losing this argument right now, or this legal battle. It's an issue, though, because a lot of these teams have completed their rosters. They probably have room on the rosters, but do they have room in their budget to sign anybody who's a higher profile kid? I don't know. Somebody mentioned to me the other day that it might help out schools at lower levels, right? Picking up some talented players that are available. So good for them. And I'm sure there's going to be in the SEC basketball, baseball, football, some guys here and there where you have room for. If Auburn has some money, I'm sure they'd love to go out there and get another edge or defensive end just to add to the rotation there. So, probably every school out there has a hole here or there they'd love to fill. So we'll see what happens. But the NCAA would have been a lot smarter had they went ahead and just grandfathered everybody in instead of going through this another legal entanglement once again and losing.
Brian, has there been any talk or any buzz? Barry mentioned last week about an email that John Cohen sent out, kind of getting a survey of Auburn fans about what they think about other sports and their willingness to donate, to upgrade, or whatever it may be. Well, what's the story behind that?
Yes, he did, and we had a story on it. It was there was an upgrade for the basketball, like a club and nicer seating. There's upgrades to Plainsman Park. There's upgrades to softball in there. I can't remember if there was a football upgrade or not. But it was kind of like, what are you most interested in? What would you be more inclined to,
support,
give money to or support? So, it's interesting to see what they're looking at next. One thing I thought was interesting in the story that Justin Hokanson had was that Title IX requires Auburn to provide equitable facilities and resources for men's and women's sports. I wasn't actually aware of that, and I've been covering college athletics for a while now. So so that's interesting to me. But none of it necessarily. Plainsman Park right field, adding some seating there, which would be cool on top of that building back there. I like that. The basketball stuff was more about like a club area, which will be open. I think expanded food, a rooftop club, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Do you think it was more Auburn geared toward heavy hitters, big donors? I'm not sure your everyday fan really cares if we have a club level at Neville Arena or club level, because obviously there's an expense attached to it. One of the things, I think one of the numbers was like $40 million for the soccer facility or something like that. I'm thinking, well, if you're spending $350 million on an end zone renovation, $40 million on soccer doesn't seem to be that big of a deal.
Right. And almost every upgrade you're going to see in college athletics facility-wise is going to be geared toward premium experiences.
Yeah.
Getting people to pay extra for this extra cool place to sit and watch a game, or extra cool place to be able to hang out and tailgate before and after games, or building something into it where you can use it, 365, 24/7, and generate revenue that way. It's all about finding ways to make more money.
I am all for my friends having more opportunity to purchase premium seating so they can invite me to come to the games.
Exactly.
I'm all for it.
Yes.
Yeah. All
for auburnsports.com offering here as they're on the doorstep of the upcoming season, a special half-off deal for subscriptions right now. You guys got it going on. How do people subscribe and be a part of it all, Brian?
We do, and we will have blowout coverage of fall camp, and that starts today with interviews. We get Alex Golish, and then we get both coordinators, so we'll have a ton of coverage later on. I think it starts at 11, so later on today. All that more, auburnsports.com. You can follow me on Twitter /X at BMattAU.
Brian, as always, my friend, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Always great conversation.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, and I'll talk
Thank
to y'all
you.
next week.
Talk
Sounds
to you
good.
next week.
Awesome.
He's from auburnsports.com. It's Brian Matthews joining us here. A little bit later on, Travis Ryer on YouTube. There's so many things around what's going on. Again, this week, day after tomorrow, there's NFL football.
Can't wait.
In the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Panthers and the Cardinals. There's fall practice or preseason practice, which admittedly doesn't tell you a whole lot. It's just, man, you're glad that they're out there. The only thing that you really know out of fall practice, preseason practice, that's substantial is if somebody gets hurt.
Ooh.
And there have been a couple of injuries during the summer across the country. But other than that, again, I stress this to you. If you're just kind of a conversational college football fan and you watch Longshore and McKnight just to get all the latest updates and, hey, what's important, what's not important, what's good, what's bad, remember this. When you're sitting around at your office trying to shine up to the regional district manager and he is saying, well, I got to tell you, our left tackle is looking really good in drills in preseason camp. You don't have to get up to him and get into him or anything. Just know that he's full of beans.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. Nobody knows. You can't stand there on the sidelines. I don't care if it's the first scrimmage of preseason camp and you played high school football in 1973. You ain't going to be able to tell it.
No.
It's been several years since I first understood, because, I'd go and I'd watch practice and you'd have guys over there. Philip is over there on the exercise bike going, wow, look at that. And I'm just telling you,
No,
they don't know.
Tell you. Folks, write this down. I've got it circled. Monday, September the 7th. I believe it's Labor Day.
Yeah.
That is when we'll know, because Bob from Pike Road will be giving us his updated, complete, and exclusive take on the Alabama offensive line. He will have seen them in game action against the Pirates of East Carolina, and he'll break down his thoughts of every position across that O-line.
Then
that's when we'll know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my opinion, if I'm wrong, I apologize. There is no Bob from Pike Road of Auburn. I know some Auburn people that have opinions.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, just about every Auburn person I know, and I know hundreds of them, has an opinion. But do they state it as concisely, as authoritatively as Bob from Pike Road does? I can't see there's an Auburn Bob from Pike Road, John, where he says, this is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. They're going to get a U-Haul in front of that guy's thing. And if you don't believe me, you're totally wrong and not even worth my time to respond to. That's what Auburn needs. Somebody like that.
I'm so hoping, Barry, particularly against a team like East Carolina, that whomever is playing left tackle on Alabama's offensive line doesn't have a couple of blow-bys in the game.
I hope he has a good game.
Because if that guy, my phone, I'll be wearing it out. Well, looks same to me. No difference. So I don't want to see that. But there again, we're going to evaluate. We're going to analyze. We're going to guess over the next month. But we'll know for sure on September the 7th, the Monday after the opening week, how improved or not offensive lines at Auburn and Alabama. Because as Brian Matthews said, obviously that's a big area of concern. Who had the worst year on the O-line last year, Auburn or Alabama?
Oh.
Maybe I didn't watch Auburn close enough.
What was it? Maybe a D and a D plus?
Maybe I had all these bad plays singed in my mind that I can't get out of there. The blow-bys, the missed blocks, the Olay blocks. Standing around like, God, did that guy just get by me? Whoa, what happened there? Didn't see that coming. I just can't get those out of my mind.
Yeah.
How many times I went 74? You're terrible. Probably more than I can count.
Yeah. And at Auburn, it's just the whole scheme was bad. I think Ty Simpson made up for a lot of deficiencies just because of his toughness. He's going to be a good NFL quarterback, and you're going to look back and think, why didn't we love Ty Simpson like we should have? Because he's a 3-year starter in the NFL now, and da-da-da. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. It's going to be the same deal, where if it wasn't for Ty, if you had somebody else back there, you're looking at 3 more losses than they had last year. So, you know, and he was getting the snot smacked out of him on a consistent basis. I don't think he's given a lot of credit. At Auburn, you didn't have that. You didn't have a Ty Simpson. Jackson Arnold, the year before Peyton Thorne, it's not. Finally, Hugh Freeze has a quarterback now in Jackson Arnold that'll fit his offense, that does what this offense needs. Nope, not the case. And a lot of that was he didn't have a whole lot of time, and he tended to panic. Neither offensive line had a season to write home about, but one of the differences, one of the many, many differences why Alabama was better is they had a better quarterback.
So Ted says Auburn's offensive line had a hard time lining up without motion or an offsides penalty. Really? Did maybe I just didn't observe Auburn's offensive line as closely as I needed to.
There were a couple of times, I do remember this because I think it happened in the Missouri game over and over again, and Jason Campbell kept talking about it. I was listening to it on the radio, where a couple of times, well, they would happen at once, I know, where they come out of a timeout, out of a media timeout.
Yeah.
They come out of a timeout, okay, big, I don't know, 3rd down play, and, you know, Auburn lines up and everything, big play coming up here, and they had to take a timeout. I'm thinking, why you got to, I think it happened twice in that game. I'm thinking, you had like 4 minutes to talk about it and decide what to do. There were a lot of those. I'd love to access the number of penalties each team had from last year, except number one, I'd have to do it. It's not like I can say, hey, John, how many penalties did Auburn have last year? And believe me, that's a question John would ask me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, just GOOGLE.com. And, you know, so I don't know, but it seems like a lot both ways, just a lack of organization.
I'm with you. Bob says it's a close race between these two offensive lines last year.
Yeah.
Both were horrendous scheme, fundamentals, and effort. Man, that's pretty rough.
That's the big 3 right there. Scheme, fundamentals, and effort are big factors in offensive line play, John.
Wait a minute. Jackson Arnold's playing for Dan Mullen at UNLV?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? I did not know that. Wow.
Well, that's not shocking. John didn't know that the trade deadline had passed in Major League Baseball. Sometimes I think this whole program is geared toward educating John. Now, he has some things he knows, but, you know, some of the other, Jackson Arnold, he didn't fall off the face of the earth and go join a monastery somewhere in Tibet? Huh.
Well, that was probably 6 months ago, maybe, and I just missed it or forgotten about it. You know, Barry, I can't tell you he was in the Final Four 3 months ago, much less what Jackson Arnold's doing today.
John couldn't tell you. If you asked him and gave him 4 seconds, he could not tell you who played for the national championship in football last year.
Well, I know Indiana was one of the teams, and I can't remember who they beat.
See, that's who we're, you know. The deal is that I'll go ahead and say it like this. Dan Mullen's a better football coach than Hugh Freeze.
Ooh.
I think Mullen is going to get whatever Jackson Arnold may have, and for some reason he was a 5-star quarterback in high school. UNLV is going to be pretty good this year, but he's going to do a better job of orchestrating things towards Jackson Arnold.
I would say so. I'm with you there. I don't know. You know, Freeze let me down, Barry. I was a big Hugh Freeze proponent. I was pushing Hugh Freeze at Auburn. He let me down. I was totally surprised by that.
John was at the mountaintop saying, hire Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Get rid of Harsin. Hugh Freeze is your guy. Don't overthink this. And he finally comes. John comes down from the mountaintop with the scrolls.
Yeah.
And that happened. That's a swing and a
You
miss,
don't win 'em
but then
all.
it's a swing and a miss from a lot of
It
people.
is. You can't win them all. Just ask the Phantom. But, more on that later.
Coming up, it's Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube. He's going to join us, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
Okay, kicking off hour number 2 here on this Tuesday. Our friend Travis Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide, joining us here today. Travis, hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Hey, good morning, guys.
We've asked you this. We've talked about this all summer long, but crystallize your thoughts when Alabama is on the verge of getting started with preseason camp. 2 or 3 things that they had better decide early in camp. Are there anything that jumps to mind at you, Travis?
Yeah, I would say even more so than quarterback, how quickly they can develop their first 5 to 7 on that offensive line. I think they go into fall camp with an idea about who those guys are. And it doesn't necessarily have to happen early because you only have 5 guys. I mean, you kind of want this thing to be where you have 8 or 9 guys and you have legitimate competition up and through that first scrimmage for a spot or 2. But I think we know Jackson Lloyd is going to be the guy at left tackle. I feel confident that Rayson Delgatti is going to be the guy at center. William Sanders, he may have helped the perception of him by not being available as much as anything because he wasn't around really for spring practice, but all we heard was when he gets back, when he gets back, when he gets back, which kind of tells you where he's at in that pecking order in the view of the coaching staff. And then Michael Carroll, it'd be great if you can keep him inside at guard because you did well enough in the transfer portal to address right tackle, but just intangibly too. Just this is a team, in my opinion, the last 2 years has caught more than it's delivered in terms of physicality. I need to see an uptick in that sort of to go in with the lines of scrimmage. You know, if you're an opponent of Alabama going into the season and you look at the Georgia tape and you look at the Indiana tape, you're going to think, hey, we can push these guys around a little bit. Now, look, Georgia and Indiana, top 5 teams in the country. Kentucky's not. But you can at least sell that to your team that, hey, we can do it too. And so I think that's the thing that in year 3 under Kalen DeBoer, Alabama football has to extinguish this growing narrative that this is a football team under Kalen DeBoer that you can kind of just, physically have your way with. And I'm not saying you have to do it to the extent that you commit dumb penalties or things that put your team in, a tough spot from that standpoint. But I think East Carolina, people are kind of looking at like, yeah, it's East Carolina. But I think even in that game, they need to be physically dominant and, take care of business. I know the quarterback position's one everybody's going to talk about. I feel like what you really want is for those guys' continued growth to be to the point where it is a tough, legitimately tough decision. Like you want them to both continue to take strides, especially early in camp, and push each other before you finally land on that guy to open against East Carolina.
Travis, you're right. Getting more physical, just dominating your opponent. That was kind of the buzzword in Tampa. We talked to several former Alabama players, Roman Harper, Damian Harris. I mean, they were saying the same things. These old players at Alabama, we're not physical enough, and they want to see more of that this fall.
Yeah, and if we're being fair, even at the end of the Saban era, you started to have more of those questions than you had with those guys. Roman was a part of a 2005 team that it wasn't certainly physically as capable as some of the Saban era teams, but defensively anyway, you knew that team was sort of on that level in terms of mindset. This team in terms of retention seems to have done what it wanted to do. Yes, there is a lot of new faces, but defensively up front, Terrence Green, Devin Tompkins, Jeremiah Beeman back. You're thinking that you between retention and your additions, what they've been selling anyway is that they think they upgraded. So we're going to find out soon enough. And then I think offensively with the line of scrimmage, Clem, Owens, those guys coming in at OL and tight end respectively, I think that's a mindset that they had to address starting on day one. That's the question, is if you're not sort of a 50 runs per game team on offense, can you be tough enough when you need to be tough enough? It's almost like you're asking to flip the switch. Now, some teams have done it. I mean, we've seen Alabama teams that could do both. We've seen SC teams that could do both under Pete Carroll. But it's not easy to do for most teams.
Help us out with this, because one of the things I've heard from some Alabama fans, I don't know nearly as much as John does or you do, but they're asking, how in the world can the offensive line be better when the projected starter at center is a transfer from Cal Poly?
Well, I mean, that is John Madden's alma mater. I mean, if we want to go there.
That's nicely
worked out
done,
okay
Travis.
for Big John. No, I mean, I get it. I guess, when you evaluate him, it was Cal Poly, but there were still games against the Utahs, and you had an opportunity to see him against Power 4 type of competition. Now, it's a different beast week in and week out. We know that, but he's also an older guy. This isn't a 19-year-old that you're bringing in. This guy's been around. So you balance that, I would think, if you're Courtney Morgan and that personnel staff. And I think just in terms of what they want at that position, it makes sense physically, experience-wise. I think they want to be a little more agile and mobile up front than they were, say, a year ago. I think they'd love to be more of a space team, a screen team, get linemen that can get out in front of some things, tunnels, things like that. So that's where I think he does fit. But, yeah, I mean, he's still going to have to answer that question.
Not looking for you to give us a name of who will be the starter, but do you think it'll be game week before Kalen DeBoer does name a starter at quarterback? And do you think also that particularly with East Carolina that he'll want to see both of them in real game action, and maybe the true starter's not maybe decided until after the Kentucky game?
Yeah, I know that's a popular narrative. I get from Kalen, ideally, he'd rather not take it into the season. And given the background of Kalen and Ryan Grubb, I'd be a little more surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if they took it into the season. I'd be a little more surprised if it goes that way with these guys than, let's say, even Saban, when he carried some things like A.J. McCarron and Phillip Sims into the season. But even Nick typically liked to have his guy. So, it's a wild card because, we've heard Ryan Grubb early in spring practice go ahead and anoint Jackson Lloyd the starter at left tackle. So I would sensibly, it would be that they would go up to game week. But we've seen some things, and there's more people addressing the media certainly than there was under Nick on a daily basis, that I won't let myself be surprised if it's before game week, but that would certainly make the most sense.
Travis Ryer, of course, Ryer on YouTube, the video home for Talking Tide, which is one of the things we rely upon him the most, but also second helping No Sleep Teal, Golf Walk, Football Talk, a whole lot more. Can it be done, Travis? Can Travis Hunter play every snap of every game? Can anybody play every snap of any game? For the Jaguars, he says he wants to do it. He wants to be on the field all the time. Is that even humanly possible?
Yeah, that's another one where I'm Missouri. You're going to have to show that he can do it over 17 games. And I know he's added some muscle. He looks great, but he's also coming off an injury again. Injuries were a thing at Colorado. I think it would be certainly something he would want to do. I don't know a player that wouldn't want to do it. And I think he has the skill sets to play offense and defense. He's already showing that in camp. But from a health perspective, you still hold your breath every time he goes up to, deflect a pass or catch a pass, or, it's something that, just the work usage and, how much they lean on him. I think ultimately they get that. I think he's going to probably start the season more as a corner, and then they'll mix him into some offensive situations because they still have Brian Thomas Jr. They still have Parker Washington, who's really starting to emerge.
Yeah, I like him.
Jacoby Myers is a really good veteran receiver. So they don't need him down in and down out on offense. So I would think they're going to measure that pretty closely.
The way I think, though, if I'm playing double the amount of snaps that everybody else is, you got to pay me double. Wait a minute. I'm not playing double for this amount.
And I'm sure his representation is thinking the same thing. The unfortunate part for Travis Hunter is that the owners in the NFL zip things up a lot better than maybe MLB, NBA owners do. He's looking at another 2 or 3 years before, they really get into his second deal. Now, I could see after next year, if he really is on that superstar track, they might go ahead and do the extension after year 3. But that would be, I think, the earliest. And you're right, though. He has that potential to be a 2-for-1, no doubt about it.
I wonder, though, if you had to play him at one or the other, I think he'd be much more valuable as a lockdown corner. But
for what they need, I agree. I think they need him at corner.
They need him to be good.
Jarian Jones is coming along nicely. They've got some vets there, Buster Brown, but I just think exactly that's where I would play him first. And if I got 10 snaps max out of him on offense, great.
Well, I know we talked about this. You addressed this, and I think it's the most compelling part of Alabama's preseason camp, Alabama's season, is the starting quarterback job. And you gave a bit of a synopsis, but somebody just texted me, what will win the quarterback job at Alabama? What aspects will make DeBoer and Grubb say, this is our guy?
I think it's going to be what it is for most of these coaches. It's going to start with command. Command of the offense, command of huddle, command of line of scrimmage, command of checks. They want to pretty much hand a lot of the keys to whoever it is. They don't want to have to training wheels this offense. So the mix of that, and I think it's going to be close enough. Austin Mack is sort of being viewed as a slug in this, and I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you presented Austin Mack's vitals and what we've seen of him to date to NFL people, I think the response would be pretty favorable to this guy. You know, he's 6'6", can move, and gets the ball out nicely. He has all of those things. With ceiling, you want to talk ceiling, he can go there too. Keelan just seems to do some things very naturally that can help lift all the boats, you know, and so that's what I think's hard to look away from, maybe with Keelan Russell a little bit more than Austin Mack. But I still think it's going to be command and, you know, who can utilize the pieces around them. They got some nice, I know Noah Rogers, that situation isn't ideal, but they still got some nice pieces. Their running backs have to step up. I don't care if it's Keelan Russell or Austin Mack. I mean, those running backs have got to be a heck of a lot better than they were last year.
Whew, boy, you are not kidding on that. Travis, jersey patches have been a topic of conversation over the last couple of weeks. I saw something yesterday that I thought was interesting. Texas, Michigan, Southern Cal, and Penn State are schools with the biggest jersey patch earning potential left on the board, with values projected as high as $30 million. Do you think Alabama will have a patch on the jersey when they run out there against East Carolina?
I don't know if it'll be that soon, but it's inevitable. It's just too much revenue for those type of programs with that kind of visibility. And you know what else? I think the price of the brick might be going up for these shoe and apparel companies, Adidas, Nike, you know. You could tie them into some of this too, I would think, because they're going to have options. Now, I know there's benefits to those deals beyond dollar figures. I mean, you got to have shoes, you got to have apparel. I get all that. And I think with Nike, it's a recruiting thing too. I think in recruiting, the swoosh still resonates, especially in comparison to some of the other brands. Kids are big on brands.
Huge.
Nike, for whatever issues they may be having, I don't know. But I know with young people, they, you know, my daughter's still upset because Hawaii just went Nike after she left. They were Under Armour the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
She says she has the feet of an 80-year-old because of Under Armour.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, Nike, you know, but yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. To answer the question, it wouldn't surprise me if they do, but it's inevitable, it feels like.
You got to think that Greg Byrne and these other athletic directors are talking to companies. There's got to be some negotiation.
Heck yeah.
Oh, there's ways to twist it, you know, a number of different directions once we go there, right?
Yeah, you can bet that on Golf Walk, you know, all of that stuff. If the money was right, you would see Travis with a Palatka Country Club hat, you know, on everything.
They could just give me the chicken salad at Golf Club, and that would be a trade.
We all have our price, you know.
I mean, if Srixon came to you with a deal, you put the Titleist in the trash.
I play Srixon anyway.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
These people that pay $70 a dozen for Pro V1s, if you go and really research ball speed and all that, I'm nerding out.
Sure.
90% of the people that are playing Pro Vs are losing distance because they don't have
Travis,
the club head speed to hit it.
I'm not good enough to
Srixon soft fields for 24 a dozen.
Sure.
You're going to hit them better, and you're going to get them 3 for 1 compared to Pro V1.
Exactly.
Get the job done.
You know, it's like if you put up 10 glasses of vodka, nobody could tell you which vodka was which. Same thing with hitting the golf ball. You can't tell me your game's better with a Pro V1 than it is with a club special from a Cushman.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Public, he can't even compress a Pro V1. A soft feel, he's going to get that one for a third of the price. It's all marketing.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Theoretically, I could hit this one farther. Son, you're 74 years old. You weigh $125. Come on.
Well, Titleist, elitist. I mean, that's all it is. That's what they sell.
So many things going on the YouTube channel. What's with all the different programs you've got. What's next coming up on the schedule?
Yeah, we'll have some golf talk this week, wrapping up the PGA Tour regular season with the Wyndham Classic.
Yeah.
We got two straight Donald Ross designs in a row. I love it.
Whoa. Ding, ding.
Love the Donnie Rosses, as you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna have some of that. We'll have some second helping, and we'll certainly have some Bama talk and some Bama news coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Ryer on YouTube. Just search it when you get to YouTube and subscribe to it and all that. Guarantee you're going to find loads of content just like we do every Tuesday at this time. Travis, as always, much appreciated.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Travis Ryer on YouTube, joining us here as he does on Tuesdays. Always appreciate his comments and analysis. Great stuff. Check him out. So many platforms. Ryer on YouTube.
Does that resonate with you? Guys are saying, oh, look at this. This ball promises to give me extra distance.
Yeah, come on.
You're like, Elmer, come on. You weigh $115. You're 78 years old.
When I was younger and was stronger, could hit it further. Maybe I noticed, but it's even now. I don't want to hit a range ball around the green. I mean, I do want something a little softer with some feel. When you're chipping and putting and things of that nature. But look, if I find a ball that looks kind of new, I go, wow, heck, I might try this one out, see what the deal is. So no, I don't. My game isn't at a level where I can tell the difference between a Pro V1 and a club special. I mean, it's like those balls that Costco sells. I mean, they feel and go just as good as a Pro V1.
I'll tell you this as well. You may notice this, you may not. Every once in a while, when you look at John, you look at me, chances are good we may be wearing a Costco polo shirt, too.
There's no doubt. I will tell you this, Barry.
All right.
The golf gloves at Costco are phenomenal. You can get 5 of them for like $22. One FootJoy or Titleist golf glove is $25. So I'm getting 5 for the price of 1 at Costco, and they're just as good, maybe better. I love a Costco. Now you got to get over your buddies going, hey man, what's with the Kirkland glove? Too bad, buddy. I got 5 for the price you paid for that. That's
exactly right.
FootJoy you got on your hand.
That Kirkland glove I've got on my hand is now in your pocket.
Yeah.
Taking your cash. So how do you like those apples? When we come back, we'll check the apples at the fruit stand of the Phantom in the Phantom's Daily Dog. It's coming up. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles.
Well,
located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way. Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Already back at it. 26 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. The Daily Dog. Well, let's just go ahead and take a peek and see what happened yesterday.
Well, it's on the schedule. You know, we look and boom, there. Oh, today's Daily Dog. Let's go ahead and
let's check it out. Well, Barry, last night we were at Wrigley Field.
Yes.
The Chicago Cubs hosting the LA Dodgers, a team that most people think might win the World Series. The Dodgers playing pretty well, but let's just go ahead and check this box score from last night. Things started out fast. It was hot early. Woo, man, that first inning, the Dodgers put 3 on the board. They're up 3-0 before the Cubs even get to take a swing. But the Cubs were able to chop away at it. They got 2 in the bottom of the first, so they're only down 1 going into the second. Held the Dodgers scoreless at the top of the second. Look at the Cubs. Boom, put 2 more up in the bottom of the second to take a lead. And then, wow, same thing in the third. Blanked the Dodgers in the top of the third. Cubs put 2 more up. So it is 6-3 going into the fourth inning. The Dodgers do score a run in the top of the fourth. Cubs don't score in the bottom. But the fifth and the sixth, good innings for the Cubs as they put 1 in the bottom of the fifth, 3 in the bottom of the sixth. That's all they needed for a 10-5 victory last night at home at Wrigley. There again, started out a little shaky, but a big 6th inning for the Cubs was the difference. 10-5 is the winner. That's my kind of game, Barry, except the last 3 innings were a little dull.
Well, the thing is you said the Dodgers playing pretty well lately. They're leading the West. Their loss yesterday to the Cubs is their season-long 4th straight loss. And John, as always, details the pitchers because he tells me, the Phantom tells him, that in baseball you're betting on the pitcher.
Yep.
Well, you look at Justin Robleski, who was pitching for the Dodgers. He's not one of the big guys, but he's had a really good year. We mentioned, he's had a really good year. Last week, he had a bad problem in his start last week with Seattle, gave up 4 homers. Yesterday against the Cubs tagged him for 4 homers. Dude has given up 8 home runs in like his last 14 innings pitched. That's a Longshore kind of day right there.
Yeah, it was a great.
The only thing that would make it better is if the guy hits a cannon shot out to right field, no doubt home run, and John's got to sit here and watch him. Oh, run around. Okay, he's at first.
Trot around the bases. Let's go.
No. But
what are we waiting on?
The Cubs took advantage of the long ball yesterday. The Dodgers have lost 4 in a row, and that is a winner for the Phantom.
Is that you said the Dodgers' longest losing streak this season?
Longest losing streak of the season is going on right now. Yeah. And it was, again, Dodgers got off to a good start, but the Cubs kept hitting it out and hitting it out and hitting it out again.
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers did play Sunday night at home, had to fly to Chicago, maybe a little, travel fatigue. Who knows? That might have factored in. Well, tonight, Barry, we're going to the American League.
Okay.
Specifically, the American League Central at 6:40 tonight, where the Kansas City Royals, who are in dead last in the American League Central Division.
Oh, they stink. They are 21 games under 500.
Yeah.
If they had a 21-game winning streak, they would get back to even. Yeah. They're bad.
They're on a 4-game losing streak, as a matter of fact. Lost 3 of their last 10. They're hosting the Minnesota Twins tonight, who are 1 game under 500. 4 games out of first place, though.
Yes.
Woo, what kind of division is this? They are 10 games ahead of Kansas City in the Central Division. Minnesota also lost a couple of games, a couple of teams on some losing streaks here, even though the Twins have won 6 of their last 10. Now, when it comes to a game like this tonight in Kansas City on a Tuesday, probably, I don't know, a slim crowd, I would think, for a Tuesday nighter with a team that's So far under 500, it's pretty bad.
As
I don't know
Skip
who
Carey
Randy
used to say back in those days when the Braves had to deal with us all the time, expect a partial sellout.
Partial sellout.
In
I
Kansas.
don't know who Randy Dobnik is.
Of course you don't.
Never heard of him. Joe Ryan, is he related to the Nolan Ryan family? I'm going with it. Sounds good to me.
No, more like Jerry Ryan, who
Jerry
played on
Ryan.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine or something.
Well,
she was pretty
any
attractive.
pitcher with the last name Ryan, I'm thinking is going to have a really good outing tonight.
Yeah.
See how I figured this out, folks?
Ryan.
That's where I'm going with. This guy's going to mow them down 1, 2, 3 for the Twins. You know, and I hate to put it this way. I don't really care if Minnesota wins the game or not. I mean, I guess it'd be nice if Kansas City did win it. But it's going to be a lower scoring game tonight. The total 9.5. No way this game goes over 9.5 runs tonight in Kansas City. Somewhat of a lethargic effort I'm banking on tonight. Barry, tickets as low as $15 as well if you're in the Kansas City area and like to catch this game. So we're going under 9.5 for the Phantoms Daily Dog. Joe Ryan against Randy Dobnik tonight for the Phantoms Daily Dog.
Sometimes the Phantom, he'll come up with something really good. And he's betting on the pitcher, or he's betting on the weather plays a factor.
Got to know about the weather.
Yeah. Sometimes he's betting on, the recent past, what has this guy done lately? I have a feeling John is betting against the Twins in this regard.
Yep.
Because he is not a very experienced pitcher, Randy Dobnak. I think John is betting against the Twins because that Randy Dobnak looks like this.
Ooh.
I mean, how can that guy?
Yeah, come on.
He looks like Hulk Hogan and the local librarian had a baby,
Yeah. Mix
that is
razor.
Randy Dobnak, and that does not necessarily inspire confidence.
No, it really doesn't. No, you're right. I will say this, Barry, you ask. At first pitch, it'll be 90 degrees. It'll feel like 92, 0% chance of rain, hazy sunshine, air quality poor, winds out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. That is your first pitch weather here for Kansas City and Minnesota tonight.
Thank you, Shane Bailey. It is the Phantoms Daily Dog. What kind of a winning streak are we on?
Not much of one. The Royals have lost 4 in a row. The Twins have lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, but how about the Phantom?
Oh, well, last week we hit 3 out of 4. We were here last Monday, so we only had 3 selections of the week. So we were 3-1. I want to say, Barry, we've hit 4 in a row. We lost the first one, but then we came back strong with 3 straight wins for a winning week. Last night made 4 in a row, sort of 4-game heater.
There we go. Let's take a break. Still to come in about 10, 12 minutes. It's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to Banking Above and Beyond at River Bank and Trust. Locations throughout the River region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here on this Tuesday. A lot going on. Great guest today as well. Really appreciate that. Just saw, Barry, where the Atlanta Falcons have made Bijan Robinson the highest paid running back in the history of the NFL.
He's so good, and he's only going to get better. He's also great teammate, huge fan of Bijan Robinson out of the University of Texas. I think he's the next big thing as far as NFL running backs go. He's also that. Another,
I saw where Jahmyr Gibbs also holding out. Maybe he might be the next highest paid.
Yeah,
hope this wasn't on the topic wheel.
He's gonna have to scramble now. This might be on the topic wheel as well because it combines several different aspects of John's favorite things in the world.
What's that?
Future schedules.
Yep.
Blue Bloods. And Notre Dame.
Oh, gotta hear it.
They have announced Notre Dame. Excuse me. Notre Dame and USC will renew their rivalry. They're not playing these days.
Right.
This is another one off the topic.
Man, look at this.
Junior's cussing us right now. A home-and-home series starting in 2030.
Yeah.
After a 4-year hiatus, the schools were planning to sell a neutral site game to Netflix, but their existing partners, of course, Fox and NBC, they were saying, oh, no, you're not. They will play again after a 4-year break when the whole thing looked dead and gone. In 2030, in Los Angeles on Fox, 2031 in South Bend. NBC is, of course, famously, they carry Notre Dame stuff, but the NBC Notre Dame deal expires after 2029. So who knows who's going to have the game?
Does it say who Notre Dame said, we're just not going to play you because we'd rather play Southern Cal?
I'm not biting. He's going to have to say it. He's not going to make me say it.
I don't have this confirmed, but I have heard that Notre Dame said, you little flash in the pan school that got lucky one year, we're not playing you. We're playing somebody that's going to give us more juice. And we don't care people out there that say things like, well, they're not any good. Doesn't matter. Indiana, you go do your little thing. We're going to play Southern Cal. That's who we want to play.
It looks like, again, 2030 is the first game of the series when it resumes at USC. This is Notre Dame's schedule right now.
Right now.
For 2030.
Let's hear it.
4 years from now. They open up at USC.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've got an opening for somebody at Alabama. Their first 2 games that they're locked in are both on the road at USC, at Alabama, Clemson, at Louisville, Duke, Florida State, North Carolina, Boston College on the road, and at Navy.
Now, that is a schedule.
That's
who you want to be
playing. What John is talking about.
Now, Duke doesn't really excite me, but it's better than East Carolina, I guess.
Now, as opposed to not this year when they open up against Wisconsin at Lambeau, but next year. Not this upcoming year, but the year after. Purdue at Michigan State.
That's 6-6 Purdue, by the way.
And then Auburn in South Bend on September 25th, 2027. So it's got Purdue, Michigan State on the road, Auburn, Kent State, Wake Forest in Charlotte, at Clemson, Virginia Tech, Navy, at Stanford, BYU, Georgia Tech, and at Duke. Doesn't have the same, does it?
You ain't kidding.
Doesn't have the same cachet.
Think of that week 3 game. Those Notre Dame fans are going to play. We're playing who this week? Who is this team?
In 2028, Notre Dame hosts Texas. They host Arkansas. And then on October the 28th, 2028, at Auburn.
So they have 3 SEC teams on their schedule in 2028.
Yes. And
who's to say they don't end up in the SEC one day? People say I'm crazy when I make that statement.
You're crazy when you make that statement. How about this? 2028. Again, the schedule can change. There's a bunch of teams they're going to play, like BC, Miami, and Pitt, that you don't know the date yet. They haven't set the date. October the 28th, 2028, Notre Dame goes to Auburn.
Oh.
The next week, they go to Virginia Tech.
Oh.
Back-to-back roadies on the plains and in Blacksburg.
They're going to be like they're in a time warp. Wait a minute. Weren't we just here?
Will we get a prognostication from the Phantom at any point where he guarantees us that they will not play those games as currently scheduled? They may move one to another date. They may get rid of one. I'm not saying which one. They may get rid of both. But will we hear the Phantom make a guarantee that Notre Dame will not play back-to-back at Auburn and at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, no, I think they'll do that. I don't have any reason to think that they won't. Now, I will say this, Barry. I would be very disappointed if Notre Dame, or Auburn for that matter, decides that, maybe we don't need to play this home and away series. I hope that doesn't happen.
Alabama did that with Oklahoma State.
Totally different.
Does that? It seems like in your eyes it would have the same vibe. Alabama getting rid of a home and away against Oklahoma State, and Notre Dame getting rid of a home and away against. Again, I'm not going to say it. I want to make John say it.
Yeah,
Auburn.
I don't know why Greg Byrne even contacted Oklahoma State. I mean, I guess you got to play somebody.
Moment,
Yeah, but don't be doing that.
That's why
go ahead and tell Virginia Tech you're done. We're over. That ain't happening either. I think is the Minnesota series been dropped? I think I read that. Maybe I dreamed it. I don't know. But no, you don't need to be playing Minnesota either. Oh,
the Alabama-Minnesota series? Is that what you said? Notre Dame.
Is that the row the boat series or what's their slogan up there in Minnesota?
Unbelievable.
Plus, they got too many whacks up there in Minnesota. You ever watch the news? Man, a lot of crazy stuff happening in that state. That's some whack people up there.
Person running for governor that
unbelievable
seems to be. Okay.
Yeah,
Alabama,
unreal.
You look at that fabled non-conference schedule. Minnesota in Minneapolis in 2032 for the Crimson Tide.
Never going to happen.
At home against the Golden Gophers in 2023 and 2033.
No.
So here are the home and aways for Alabama. I mean, the ones that you care about.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Boston College.
Definitely.
Arizona.
Not bad because I don't think they've ever played. I don't think Alabama and Arizona have ever played a game.
Minnesota.
Scratch.
And Virginia Tech. Home and away.
Scratch both those. No interest at all. No way.
And replace them with USC.
I'll work on that.
Penn State.
Penn
Some of the
State,
fabled ones from your
Penn State, Southern Cal. Can you not put the Trojans on the schedule? I mean, some great games at the Coliseum, Legion Field. I'm not saying go back to Legion Field. I don't think Southern Cal, I know they hadn't. Southern Cal has never played at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
So?
Put Southern Cal on the schedule.
What is that? You make it sound like it's an outrage.
Greg,
or, it's one of those things at a bar. You say, all right, I'll bet you $5 if you can answer it. Has Southern Cal ever played at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
No,
they have not, huh? What do you think about that, huh?
It is 6:46 in LA, just so they hadn't got to work yet. But Greg, lob a call out there. I don't know who the AD is at Southern Cal today, and I don't believe Lincoln Riley's going to be there when they play this game. I'm not sure he's going to be there when they play Notre Dame, actually. But, get Southern Cal on the schedule. I'm all for that. No problem at all. but Minnesota, Virginia Tech, and you heard me kind of snicker
Maybe
a little
it
bit
was a
when you
weak
mentioned
moment.
when you mentioned Georgia Tech. Not my first choice, but I can live with it. There's some history there. Bear with the helmet on when they were throwing whiskey bottles at him, So there's a little history there.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll close out our live show with the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel, which I fear is going to be a little light because John and I may have hit a couple of those, and he's scrambling around to find some replacements. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Longshore and McKnight are brought to you in part by Stivers Automotive, Stivers Ford in Montgomery, and Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. For the absolute best on-site selection, service, and price, no other dealer can match Stivers. Stivers Ford in Montgomery is located at 4000 Eastern Boulevard and online at stiversfordmontgomery.com. Stivers CDJR in Prattville is located at 2209 Cobbs Ford Road and online at stiverscdjr.com. Longshore and McKnight have been Stivers customers for over 15 years. You should be too. Stivers Automotive, where price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs.
The more you play, the more chances you have to win during Diamond Days all summer long at Victoryland Casino. Win diamond jewelry and your share of $105,000 in free play. Also all summer long, it's TV Tuesdays. Win TVs and your share of $80,000 in free play. Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days and TV Tuesdays with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Okay, back at it here, about 12 minutes to the top of the hour. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday. Hey, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Very important. Really appreciate it. Helps with the algorithm, they tell us. And we certainly don't want any algorithm problems. We want positive algorithms. Hit that for us. We really appreciate it. Now, the topic wheel brought to you by our friends at Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22 off I-85, Shorter, Alabama. You can be a winner too. Barry, it looks like 6 topics today.
Yep, Gurn has loaded them up. We don't have any idea what they are. And we begin with Casual Stroll. That was Longshore in the baseline of the end zone at Jordan-Hare Stadium before our. Where is this? This is KTLA. That's all I do. Monrovia, California.
Okay.
Yes. A week ago, Sherwin Bonzuela was there just hanging out. All of a sudden, here comes a mountain lion, 7:55 in the morning on July the 28th. The children usually go outside to play with the dogs around, and here it comes. This is what's happening. Again, it's the San Gabriel Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've got mountain lions, right?
Sure you do. Yeah.
This is what happens when you got all this development and they're getting this and this subdivision and that subdivision, and you're encroaching on the mountain lion's home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
he's all in the backyard. Yeah.
If this was Little House on the Prairie, it'd be like no big deal. But people are like, oh my gosh, a mountain lion. Well, you're in the dang mountains, you're pushing all these animals further and further out of their habitat.
Man, that's kind of scary.
Nah, it's the way it should be. You need to have a few wild animals around here and there. I've had deer go through my yard all the time.
I can handle a deer. Mountain lion, not so much.
Mountain lion a little different. I agree. All right. There you go. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, good stuff. Casual Stroll. Nice.
All right.
Spinning away. 5 more to go. Nice color combination on the wheel today.
Washing hands.
Barry, I'm a big proponent of that.
Yes, you've got to do it.
I don't like the bar. I just like to pump that foam. It's good stuff.
This doesn't have anything to do with germ warfare. They're about to get rid of Bill Belichick? All right, let's read this. They've been terrible. They were 4-8 last year.
Terrible
Their general
experience.
manager, Michael Lombardi, who was one of the most disliked people in college football history, and that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Pate, I like that guy. He predicts that UNC would get rid of Belichick and Lombardi this year. Now, they open up, as we mentioned, they're the first Power 4 team to get started. They open up in Dublin August the 29th against TCU in the Aer Lingus deal. Then East Tennessee State before Clemson, Notre Dame, Pitt, and Duke. There you go. That's not easy.
I was listening to I should know the guy's name. So College Sports on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing a guy that had been to ACC Media Days.
Right.
I bet that's a lot of fun. And this guy was talking about how he interviewed every coach there except Bill Belichick. That he had sent a request to every school in the ACC, got it done before they went. Every school replied, sure, no problem, we'll get it done. Didn't even get a response from North Carolina.
It's a bad thing. Look, he won whatever it is, 6, 7 Super Bowls, and you can't take that away from him. But it's a bad setup. Number one, he's old. Number two, he has virtually no interest in learning about college football.
No.
It's different in college. It just is. Number three, he's picked an absolute jerk as his general manager. Everybody hates him. Number four, they're paying him and his GM and his staff a ton of money.
Yeah.
So much money for 4-8. You look at their recruiting classes, you look at their transfer. They haven't done diddly squat in the transfer portal. John, they ain't got players. They're going to be bad again. They
are.
Don't have.
And who
players.
thought that was a great idea? To me, it's a publicity stunt.
No question.
And, the networks fell all over themselves. Game Day was in his first game last year. They looked horrible. They didn't look good in any game they played. They won't this year either. What are they thinking about? Well, who's the athletic director in North Carolina? He's got to be going.
It used to be a guy named Bubba Cunningham. Now it's a guy named Steve Newmark. But it wasn't Newmark's call, I don't think. It's just, I'm not sure whether Josh Pate is right, that they're going to pull the plug on him, wash their hands of him sometime this year. I don't know if he's right or not, but they should.
Did Josh Pate play college football?
Nope. Josh Pate is from some little town in Georgia, Harris County, Georgia. He got his start in Columbus, working at radio, and then he was on TV there, and he's really good. I like him. And he's going to be, now he's on ESPN, his show and all that. Like him a lot. He's got a good future and everything. I hope he's right about this because it's inevitable. Might as well get it done now. It's kind of like breaking up with somebody, There's no future here. Let's go ahead and get it over with. And that's what needs to happen with him. Good stuff. Good job.
4 to go. Let's see what we got. 4 more to go. Nice color combination. Let's see what we got here.
Let's see. Crown's dead, comeback, at risk, and in space. All right, comeback.
Okay.
I may have missed this. Please not be WNBA. Oh, Aaron Donald. I heard about this, that he's thinking about it. Look, the Rams, I got them winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, they got Myles Garrett. They've got, of course, Matthew Stafford, who is older than Aaron Donald. He was the best player in the NFL defensively for a long time, and it wasn't even close. Myles Garrett is a 2-time player of the year defensively. If anybody could do it, Aaron Donald could do it. And I think he could be a dominant defensive player still at 35. Maybe not as many snaps, but, man, you put him on the inside, you put Myles Garrett on the outside, that's a good combination. If he does do this, I don't know that he will do it, but if he does, you can cash it in. The Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. I have no doubt.
Man.
They may win it even without Aaron Donald.
I love L.A. Wow.
I'd love to see it.
All right. Three more to go. Yellow, red, and blue. Let's spin the Victoryland 777 topic wheel, see where it lands. And we're going to find out just
August,
like you are.
A big month at Victoryland.
You better believe it. TV Tuesdays. Tonight, you win your TV out there tonight.
How about that? At risk, the PGA Tour playoffs. It seemed, the PGA Tour playoffs are a little bit different than the NHL playoffs when everybody goes. Jackson Koiven at number 70, he may miss. He ain't played but about 10.
Really? Ain't played enough events, really.
Keegan Bradley. I'll say Koiven.
Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah, that turned some heads.
Jason Day.
He's been bad. He's not been good. He has not been good.
Brooks Koepka either. He hadn't really got much happening either.
He's too up and down. He's not consistent at all. When he plays well, goodness, it looks fantastic. Tony Finau, main thing I remember on him is turning his ankle that time when he hit a hole-in-one. Finau's kind of there. Anybody on this list, other than the ones we said, the cut line, Koiven would be in. Jason Day out. None of these other guys I've really heard of. Davis Thompson, Jackson Suber. Brant Snedeker out of Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, give me a break. Got to have him. Lucas Glover. Just something to watch for down the stretch. A PGA Tour regular season. The regular tour ends this weekend with the Wyndham, and there's a lot at stake. All right, two left. Here we go.
Here we go. We can make it. Two left. We can make it. Blue and red is what we got. And Crown Royal? What? Crown's dead.
Can't be that. That thing is. Oh, yeah, the Triple Crown. The Preakness, which is the one in Pimlico in Maryland, it's the timing is not right. In the Triple Crown, you got the Kentucky Derby and you've got the Belmont.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The Preakness in the middle, it's different how trainers train their horses these days. The Preakness is only like 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby. And the last couple of Kentucky Derby winners haven't raced in the Preakness because it's too soon afterwards, and then you got to get them trained up. So they've started out an idea called the Thoroughbred Championship Series, where you would have 6 races, including the Kentucky Derby. There's a couple out in California. I think there's one in Saratoga up in New York, in upstate New York. So 6 races, and none of those races is the Preakness.
Not good.
So, yeah. Watch for
good.
Things change, man. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. That's what Kansas taught us.
That's what they said.
That famous song, Dust in the Wind.
That's correct.
So watch out for that. I think that does happen. One more.
All right. Blue panel. It's spinning. Have to do it to make it official. It's going to land on
in space, which is Longshore's head when you ask him to name who played in the college football national championship game last year.
Yeah.
In space. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, so the guy had a dog. The dog, like many dogs do, have a favorite toy. This was an alien toy. This is the recently deceased dog. He is no longer with us. If you take a look, well, let's see if we can get a look at the dog's name is Oscar. They're from Great Britain.
Okay.
And they are sending Oscar's ashes. They have cremated Oscar.
All right.
And they have also cremated his favorite alien chew toy.
Did they, how'd they get it into outer space?
How much does it cost? I mean,
that balloon got to about the ionosphere, baby, and poof.
And there you go.
Drop back down
right
to
at the edge. If you get the right kind of balloon and you spend enough money, you can get it up there. And then they blew it up.
Yeah. Oof.
These are people with too much money, too much time, and not enough life. Look, I love dogs as much as anybody. but have a little ceremony in your backyard.
That's right. Come
Say
on.
a little prayer or something. And then
what
go.
it costs. Yeah, you're right about that. All right, Barry. Tomorrow we will have CJ Duncan from Yellowhammer News, and I believe we'll also have another special guest on the program tomorrow.
Yeah, we're working towards Chris Blackshear, state representative, and of course the sideline reporter on the Troy Sports Media Network, hopefully in the 8 o'clock hour, to talk about the state of gambling legislation.
Yeah.
Maybe in the state of Alabama. Coming up as well tomorrow on Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by